Thank you.
It says no God, love God.
That's the birthday girl.
That's all you know.
She's the whole birthday. Go for it.
No God, right? There's another way it would say that. To know him well. There's no God. To know him well.
A very unbirthday to you.
I have a very funny class this morning. You're in trouble.
Hey,
Thanks.
so good.
Oh, did we interrupt?
No.
I thought your birthday was in November. Oh,
Okay, everybody, good morning as we start this class.
74 years.
Um,
I forgot, it's your fault. Really?
Yeah, you're July 18th.
17.
Oh,
You're close to that.
close
Got the
to
right.
Then you get the voucher, you get the check.
Yeah. Well, one of my.
Thank you for
I have another
volunteering.
very good friend.
The new building campaign.
Mark is a very.
okay,
good
so we're holding on page 80, I believe. We're holding the I'm not sure exactly, either on the bottom of the left corner
friend.
or the top of the right corner.
Right side, we already, Koach Ma was the last thing we talked about.
Now, the general principle, the whole realm of holiness, we'll go to right column. Holiness is only, which is right from Chachma, which is called Kodesh Elyon, supreme holiness. In Kabbalah, Chachma is called, wisdom is called supreme holiness. Why is it called supreme holiness? Why is it Kodesh Elyon? Is many levels in holiness. So the answer is, the Alter Rebbe says, because existence is nullified to the light of Ein Sof. Something that's holy, something that is holy is batal. It's nullified to something else. So here, like for example, when we get married, it's called kedushin. We are committed to one another, even though there's a lot of other people in the world, and we have relationship with them too. But our relationship, kedushin, when we get married, is called the concept of holiness because it's a different relationship. It's on a whole different level. Our commitment is a whole different commitment, and our relationship is on a different level. And therefore, it's called Kedusha. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Holy, holy of holies. So a concept of Kedusha is a concept of separation. Something that is separated. Something that is different. Something that goes above the concept of the normal, which according to the Alter Rebbe, actually, this is the normal. The normal is Kedusha. And the unnormal is the opposite of Kadosh. Because the essence, the true concept of something is Chachma. We say, the verse says, Kulam b'Chachma Sisa. Everything is made from wisdom. Nothing comes from no place. Everything comes from a place called, or an entity called wisdom. And since everything comes from wisdom, so therefore the true source of everything is the concept of wisdom. And therefore, anything that's out of the realm of wisdom is untrue, is not natural, is unnatural. So therefore, for a human being that is to be good, that's his natural. That's where Yiddishkeit, Torah separates itself from other places. The Torah holds that every person is born naturally good. Even though he has a Yetzer Hara, doesn't make him unnaturally good. It tells him that he's going to have the struggle. He's going to have the struggle with the unnatural, because every person is naturally good, and every person is naturally holy, and every person is naturally wants to be special and unique, because every one of us is a part of God which is special and unique. Echad umiyuchad. He's one and unique. We are all one and unique. There's nobody else in the world like us. Well, some people say thank God, but there's nobody in the world like us.
Yeah, my mother said
No, nobody in the world like us. Why? Because we all come from Chachma. If we would come from anything else, we would be the same. We are all different. We all come from a level of wisdom, which the Eibishter, Kulam B'Chachma Sisa, the Eibishter made everything with wisdom. And therefore, really, truly, to comprehend oneself, to touch oneself, he needs to touch the divine. He needs to touch the godly. He needs to touch the essence. He needs to touch the fire, right? He needs to have that passion. He needs to have that inspiration to be able to really touch the divine Kodesh, where he feels that he's different. That's why most of us go through life and we feel like we're trudging, we're schlepping life. We are dragging. We're not shoplifting, right? Maybe we feel that way. But the truth is, we're Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. We're holy upon holy upon holy. We are the concept of true essence of holiness. We are created in the image of God. That's what the Pasuk tells you. The Pasuk in essence tells you that you are special. God tells you are special. Why? Because you come from Chachma. Because you come from the wisdom of God, which is above any concept of any manifestation of godliness, even the most highest manifestations of godliness, Lamaila. The world, even the Chachma of the world of, even the Chachma of the world of Atzilus, you come, every one of us comes from a much deeper place, much greater place.
Just remind me what the world of Atzilus is.
The world of emanation, the highest spiritual world in Kabbalah, which is pretty high. But Atzilus, the world of emanation, that's the fancy English word. The world of, oh, take your paper, you got it, you got the paper. We're gonna one day test you on this paper. You might flunk the test.
Yeah.
But
You spend many hours on one thing. You don't.
so you're blessed from Oir Ein Sof. That's higher than Atzil. Oir Ein Sof is infinity. It's higher than any levels of creation, whether it's physical creation or spiritual creation. A person comes from Oir Ein Sof. He comes from an infinite power. And the second he says he's limited, the second he talks himself as limited, as stuck in a situation, as unhappy, then he's missing the point. He's missing his true nature. And he's not touching to his true nature. Because his true nature is holy. It's Kodesh, something special, which is happy, which is healthy, which is godly, whatever powerful word you want to put to it. And that's where that's where a person ultimately needs to click to. He needs to ultimately might take a lifetime to realize this concept, or to click. As I said, Sergeant spoke yesterday, you can go through. People go through life intellectually, and it never clicks. It never jumps that. Mm-hmm. They're in the mode of intellect, and they're very smart people, and we go intellectually more and more. Never surpasses understanding. It never passes the bina. Never passes our understanding. It never clicks that, you know what, I can go higher than that. I can be in the level of wisdom, which I click in the level where in the wisdom there is everything. There is intellect, and there's passion, there's fire. Like Koid Varakesh, the Eibish's word is fire. The Eibish's word is Chachma, and it's fire. It's fire. In a place of fire, the Torah Gemara says the Torah can be metama. Why? You can't impurify the Torah. Why? Because it's fire. No concept of impurity when it comes to fire. Fire cannot be impure. Wisdom cannot be impure. Everything else, your being, what means impure? Purity means where things get involved that doesn't belong there. When it comes to your understanding, you can bring in impurity to that situation. If we can connect to the wisdom where it's above and beyond, it's wisdom. It's still under wisdom. Still a great concept, but it's a concept that's fire. It is what it is. Is it when you come to the realization what is? It means, in essence, if you can come to the realization you're a good person. right? Even with all your mishigasin and with all your hang up, you are a good person. You're a person that's good in nature, and you have issues. We all have issues. So therefore, but in essence, I'm good. I know I'm good.
Does that knowledge like come and go depending on
I mean,
circumstances?
fundamentally.
I am fundamentally good. Every person is fundamentally good. That's it. And he has to realize that. And therefore, yeah, it comes and goes. You always need to, once you come to that realization, you're good, then you don't have to have it constantly remind you, because you know you're good. We're naturally good. To a child is naturally good. Would you say a child is evil? No, he's naturally good. He has mishigasan, but he's naturally good. You don't condemn a child. He's naturally good. He might break something. He might destroy something. He's still cute. Still, you love him, right? That's it. That's it.
To save their lives.
You're a child to the truth. You're still a child. You're still a child to your essence. Well, the Eibishter created you. You're a child. You're a child to God. You're still a child, and you're good. We have to convince ourselves that's our nature. And then, if you convince yourself you're good, then you'll maybe stop doing things that you shouldn't do because you're naturally good. How can it be possible that a good person does a thing that is not good? How is it possible? We do bad things because we don't think we're good.
Reminds me of Rabbi Twersky said, Rabbi, he wrote, I don't know how many books he wrote.
Nobody knows.
100? I don't know. And he said they were all about one thing, self-esteem.
Correct. That's it. So the problem is that we think we have low self-esteem. You're right, low self-esteem. And we try to overcome low self-esteem by understanding things. No, you have to go to the truth. You have to jump over into the truth. Because that's the truth. The truth is you're good. That's the way the Eibush created you. That you're good. You're a good person. And in the concept of Yiddishkeit, you're a godly Jew. You're a Jew. You're neshama. You have neshama. You have a godly soul. So no, every Jew is a godly soul. He has a godly soul. He's perfect. So therefore, you don't have to transform yourself to do what is right. Since you're good, you have a godly soul, you do what is right. There are things that you're not doing that are not totally perfect. Okay, you'll work on it. You'll change. When you'll do more good, you'll ultimately realize that you shouldn't be doing things that are not right. Like a child will ultimately mature and stop breaking things. He has to grow up, and we all have to grow up. We all have to mature. That's it. The Eibush is waiting for us to grow up. But he thinks we're cute.
He has compassion on us, right?
He has compassion. He's our father. So he's a parent. He has compassion. So this stands in direct contrast. And therefore, you understand that's a problem. The problem is that we think that that both are equal. The Torah, our godly soul, and our Mistiklal are equal. We think they're equal. We think that our life is a life in the world and our life in the spiritual are equal. And we can have both worlds. That's how we rationalize this whole situation. But if we realize that we are holy and we are godly, then we'll come to the realization that everything that's the opposite of it is just a vehicle. It's just there. It's there to be used in the right way. It's not equal. Primary is that I'm good. Primary is to have a godly soul. Secondary is all the things that I carry with this situation. All the things that come in life. But what's primary? What is the primary thing in my life? I'm a Jew. The primary thing in my life is God. That's my primary, above all.
Question, because you said before about jumping over to our good. So like because I was thinking to brush away the schmutz, but you're saying to jump over the schmutz.
Jump over the schmutz, go straight to the primary,
Mhm.
and the schmutz will go away.
Mhm.
That's it. Because when you jump into the primary, light chases away a lot of darkness.
Mhm.
So ultimately, if you jump in the primary and that is your primary, then why will you want to do secondary things? You'll only do secondary things for what you need for the primary. If it's not a need for the primary, why would you do it? Why would you do things that are not for the primary? Now, this is not an easy thing. I'm not saying it has to click. It first has to resonate in a person what is primary and what is not primary. If he cannot come to that click in his life, that he realizes what is primary, what's not primary, he has a struggle in everything in life. It's in the way relation. What's primary? If I'm married, then this is my primary. Not everybody else is my primary. This is my primary. Everybody else is important, but this is my primary. And once that becomes a reality and both feel that this is primary, then we don't have to worry about anything that's happening in the world. We don't have to worry about each other because we know the primary. We know where it is. And therefore, everything else is secondary. And then there's no jealousy, there's no competition because we know the primary. I don't have to keep on telling like in the will, I love you, I love you, I love you. You know that we know it. We know it. It's a fact. It's not something that we have to work on. We matured. Maybe when we got married, we were worried, and do you love me? Don't you love me? We lived 25 years. 25 years I cooked for you. I think yeah, is it a question? We know it. We know it. It's nice to say I love you, but we know it. It's just what it is. With the Eibush also, we have to come to that level. It's not only that's based on what's going on, it's based on that's what it is. That's the nature of the thing. The nature is the Eibush loves us and we love him. It's not something that can change anything. Even if I'm a naughty person, I still love him.
Yeah, but Rabbi, like Purim's coming up, right? The whole thing of Purim is the hiddenness of all
Right.
of Hashem's messages to us.
Correct. So the Eibush can be hidden.
On work.
We're in Gullus. The Eibush can be hidden. He still loves us. That's it. The hiddenness doesn't change the fact that he loves us. That's the point of the Megillah. The Eibush says, I'm hidden. And sometimes you'll see things that are totally meshuggah, and you might think that this is coming to an end. That's when you go through life through understanding. If you go through life through essence, there's ultimately nothing to worry about. Altira mipachat pisam, u'meshayis Hashem kizavei, utzu eitzu v'su gimonu kel. David is with us. So what are you worried about? Stop worrying. Stop having fear. Why is a Jew worried about anything? If he understands he has a relationship with God, so what is he worried? Nothing to worry about. That's what we say. And the Israel, the eyes of God upon it. What do you have to worry about it? They have to do what is right, and they'll not worry.
If one is sincerely Jewish, one should not have anxiety.
No, nobody should have anxiety. There shouldn't be anxiety. Jews should not have anxiety. Have been talking to the Eibush. If you have been talking to God, what are you anxiety about? Why would a person feel anxiety?
Whole industry out of this.
Baruch Hashem.
Speaking of anxiety.
They should want to go out of business. Why should people want to have it? Why would people have anxiety? Why should people have anxiety? We're part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What are we anxiety about? The only thing we should be anxiety about is about God. Are we connected? Are we disconnected? Are we having a good relationship? We're not having a good relationship. And God says, don't worry. We're perfect. Everything is perfect. Ahavti escham Hashem. The Eibush says, I love you. Yes.
I hope this is like off the topic or not appropriate, but like I've been learning the laws of Shabbat, and like on Friday, my teacher said the laws of Bora, right? Like you can't separate. That's a very hard thing.
Everything is hard. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they're making mistakes, all Shabbos.
That's it. That's life. That's life.
Jewish isn't.
Nothing is easy. He loves you anyway. 100%. What's the matter? Children make mistakes. We make mistakes. We make mistakes.
That's true. But it cuts, if you're doing something that's, you essentially.
You have to learn halacha. That's why you have to learn the law. So learn the law.
Strong.
You have to learn. So learn the law. So learn. So go learn. So that's what you got to do. 100%. 100%. Should learn the law. So but a person should not fool himself to think that that kedusha and the opposite of kedusha can go together, can basically deal together. It doesn't work that way because they are in contrast to one another. So there's no equality in the concept of kedusha and the opposite of kedusha. Just like there's no equality between chachma and bina. There's no equality in that, and they're not meant to be equal. Chachma is a concept that is self-understood far beyond the aspect of understanding. It's like ayin liyesh. It's like nothing. It's like infinite to the concept of bina. Bina is a finite entity, and chachma is above a finite entity. This, as the Mishnah says, if a person says, "I have wisdom," he doesn't know what wisdom is. So a person cannot acquire wisdom; he can learn wisdom. As we say, the expression "Talmid Chacham," you're a student of wisdom. You're a chacham. That's why they give some time to a person a title, the chacham. But the regular title, Talmid Chacham. Most of us are students of wisdom. We're students of wisdom. You have acquired wisdom. You can't acquire wisdom because chachma is ein sof. Chachma is ein sof, is infinite, so it's impossible to acquire it. So therefore, the truth is, anything that's the opposite of infinite is a finite entity. It's the opposite of infinity. It's a finite entity. And therefore, there's no really concept, there's no connection between the two.
Yeah, but when you attach yourself to Hashem, so you are, in a sense,
But that
connected
is
to
the Eibush
infinity.
gives you the right to attach himself to him.
But isn't that what we strive for, to Vegas?
Through the tools of what the Eibush gave you today. Only God can give you the tools to connect to him. You can't come up with your own mitzvah.
No, I don't mean.
No,
that.
but that's the point. The point only the Eibush who is infinite can say that this is the way you connect him. That's it. If not, there's no way to connect him. So only Chachma can say Chachma is infinite, can say finite to me is the same thing as infinite. But to a human being, infinity, my thought is not your thought. So even you're learning Torah, which is the Chachma of the Eibush, and the understanding of God, self-understood. As King Solomon said, I have wisdom, and I realize how far wisdom is from me. So as much as the wisdom, Baruch Hashem, we have the capability to learn Torah, which is the wisdom of God, to do mitzvahs, which is the will of God, still I realize that's a schus. That's a Kodesh Baruch Hu zakes. So the Eibush gave me a schus. He gave humanity a schus to have that relationship. It's a schus, it's a merit, it's a gift. Without that gift, that's what the Siddur says, that's Matan Torah. Without Matan Torah, there would never be this relationship. It would be impossible to make a relationship. Because the Eibush is infinite and we're finite. How can finite make a relationship with infinity? The only way the finite can make a relationship with infinity is infinity wants that relationship.
Let's leave to wait for Hashem to come to us.
That's it. Vayera Hashem al Har Sinai. And the Eibush came down on Mount Sinai. Vasli Mikdash v'shachanti b'seichem.
But
The Eibush says make a Mikdash.
but we make the effort to go.
The Eibush does. I'll give you the tools to make the effort. I'll give you. It's impossible to make on our own the effort. That's why the Torah. That's what you see in the Torah. It says "V'lo yisayse v'lo yisigra." Do not add. Do not subtract. Because you can't add. You can't add and subtract. You cannot add and subtract. If you're going to create any other kind of relationship with God, then you're basically creating a relationship that's not a real relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because it has no real truth.
But you can have the striving before you know all the mitzvahs.
Again, that you can strive is a gift from God. Everything that you can do, well, who gives you the seichel to strive to godliness, if not the Torah, if not the
Striving?
no.
No?
No, Kol b'dei shamayim, chutzi miyiras shamayim. No, I mean, God gave us each and every one of us our capabilities of striving, our capabilities in knowledge, our capabilities in understanding. It's all, as Alter Rebbe, it's all the level of the capabilities of your neshama. It's not the Eibishter gave you a neshama that has all these capabilities of thought, speech, action, thriving, accomplishing. It's all there. Yes. We have a meeting till 11:15, okay? Okay, if you close the door. Yeah, that the Eibishter gave you this capabilities. You don't have any other, you don't have your own capabilities. If they didn't give you that capability, you wouldn't be able to do it.
So we have free choice.
That's what she was asking.
Yeah, free choice.
It's very, let me just answer the question. The Eibishter hid himself, and that's why you have free choice. The Eibishter hid this thing, and that's why you have free choice. If God wouldn't have hid this thing, you wouldn't have free choice either. See, this saying that the Eibishter hid it. Shemesh umogin Hashem. The Eibishter, so to say, hid it, so to say. Just like the what?
What's the it?
The essence.
The essence, the truth is hidden. The essence is hidden. So now,
Yes.
right? That's to myself. You feel your neshama. You don't feel your own neshama. You feel I feel my own neshama. I don't. If I would feel my neshama, then I would. Then it would be everything would clap. Then everything would clap. Then everything would go.
So the agent who's given us power to look at our neshama.
Boy,
Slowly.
You are.
Slowly.
You are.
Through connecting step by step, level by level to our neshama, which might take time. And that's what I said before. You know, when it clicks. It takes time to even connect to your own neshama. It takes a journey. It's a journey. It might take a lifetime to ultimately connect to your neshama.
So are you saying it's an illusion to kind of think that Hashem's not running our life?
Yes, it's total illusion. Total illusion.
Like, what is illusion?
Total illusion.
That we have any-
Total illusion.
But Hashem is running.
Could you repeat the question, please, Rabbi Booker?
Powering them.
You say it's an illusion.
To turn our back pretty well. Now, what I heard was so beautiful to help me concretize a little more and tell me if this was with Hasidus. Sarah Yocheved Rigler shared with us that Rabbi Wolbe said there are only two worlds. The world of the animal soul, jealousy, anger, whining, what is going on, right? Why am I married to this? I don't even know who this is. Right? That's one world. The other world is with Hashem. He's powering that also. But it's the world of acceptance, harmony, love, connecting to our essence. And so how long do you want to be in the other world when things happen that are not good? We can do it in the eye blink, or we can do this before this.
Okay. I'll answer you. I'll tell you what the Chassidus says.
Yes.
It's one world. It's one world. It's not two worlds. We're in one world. The Eibishter created one world. He didn't create two worlds. Created one world. And in this world, you have two concepts, which both these concepts need to be used out for good. Okay? That there's one concept, there's one world, was Hashem Echad, the concept of oneness. To the Eibishter, there's no such thing as Klipper. There's no such thing. To God, it's all there for the same purpose.
Well, that's the illusion.
And he powers both of them. He powers both because it's one. To him, it's not two. It's one concept. The Eibishter gave you your, what I keep on calling Mishigas, your Klipper. He gave it to you, just like he gave you your godly soul. He gave you, in essence, he gave you equally. The question is, how do you use out this clipper, this, whatever it might be in your life, depression, unhappiness, jealousy, how you use it out for Kedusha? That's the question. Not how you get rid of it, not how you don't do it, but how you actually do it. How you actually take something that is in your mind negative, right? And actually, since it's the Eibishter created it, so it is one.
We think
We
it
got-
defines us.
So how does it?
That's the problem. We think it is us. All
But I'm
the
t-
negative clip, but we think it is us.
No, but I'm telling you, it is you. I'm saying the opposite of you. I'm saying no. You're not listening to me. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying the opposite. As Tanya tell you, it is you.
What is us?
Your Mishigasin is you. Is you.
I would-
And now, how do you use that your Mishigasin for Kedusha?
But that's.
And that is
Don't
you.
touch it. And we don't want it. And we're angry.
No, you want it. I'm telling you, you should want it. You should want it. You should no. You should do. You should want it.
But-
That's a unique talent. The Eibishter gave you who you are.
I thought he
You
said
are-
is the neshama.
You might not like it,
That's the
you
primary.
want it,
That's the
Oh.
primary. The primary. That's secondary. It means that the talent, the Mishigas, the way you think it's a Migas, is that made you special, and now you take it and you use it out l'toif. How do you take something that God gave you a character, or a certain kind of character, certain, and that is Ashkacha Pratis? How do you use it out for good? The Rebbe, in this class we gave last couple of weeks, he told the person, if you have ego, right? Ego is a terrible thing. You have to use ego for the good.
It's not a terrible thing. You just said it's.
I tell you, okay, no, but you think it's a terrible thing. You think it's a terrible thing, and you're going to try to get rid of it. You're not going to get rid of it because the Eibishter gave it to you. So now, how do you take ego and use it out for the good? Now you understand what the concept of oneness is. The Eibishter,
Is there Hashem?
Well, can you give a
the
few
Rebbe gave an
examples,
example. The
please?
Rebbe gave an example how to use it out to good. I don't
Like
think
what?
that's the reasoning. The Rebbe said, so you look at somebody else and say, if that person can do something, hey, I'm such an ego person, I can do double. That's how I use my ego for the good. I am much better than you. If you're so good, I can do even better because I am more egotistical than you, and I can use you. I can use it for the good. And the Rebbe says that what will happen then, once you use our ego for the good, your Yetzirah will leave you go, let you alone. He'll leave you go. He'll let you go.
Transformed
Book
it.
says, when you're in front of a difficult person, you say to yourself, why has Hashem put this person in front of me? What am I to learn from this? How can I grow from this?
It's the reflection of what we don't like. in
Or you don't have to go to the front of the person in front of you. You can look at yourself and you say, why did God make my life so difficult? Why did God make me such a complicated, I'm not talking about you, such a complicated person? Why did the Eibishter do this? If not, that I can use this thing out l'toif. That not to get rid of it, I'll never get rid of it. How do I take this thing and use it out for the good? So therefore, for example, a person's depressed, unhappy. How do I take this to become a springing board, this unhappiness, that I can use this actual thing for the good? How do I do that? How do I take something negative and it becomes a spring? So the negative is good. And that's what the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya also. He says, that's why every Aveda can become a mitzvah. Because in every Aveda there is good. In every sin, there is good. And therefore, ultimately, we can transform the negative into good. Because the negative became the spring before the good. So therefore, you're actually using out the negative. So now you know why you did negative. So now you know why you did negative. I did a negative thing because now I'm going to use this negativity for something good. And that tells you that they're both good. They're both good. They're in essence both good. So in Chachma, so in understanding, you cannot understand this. This is hard to explain. In understanding, what I just said right now is going to be very difficult to understand. Because in understanding, in Bina, everything is boxed. Everything has its place. And there's negative and there's good. Two worlds. There's negative and there's good. Where you want to be. So now I want to be good. Later I'll be bad. Then I'll be good. I'm on a roller coaster life. Because of my understanding. Right now I want to be bad. Right now I feel like I have to show my negative. Now I got to show my positive. Later I'll feel bad that I showed my negative, and I'm going to keep on going up and down and never ending. If I can go to Chachma, if I can go to a place where I realize that everything is good. Everything is good. Akom min hashamayim. Everything comes from heaven. The good and my bad. Everything comes from God. And therefore, if you have wisdom, that's thinking out of the box. You have wisdom, then you can start thinking how to take the negative and make it good. But in understanding, you can't do it there. But you can't go there. It doesn't make sense. Whatever I said to you, you're going to try to understand this. You can't understand it because it doesn't make sense in understanding. You need to go, what the Rebbe says, you got to jump over. You got to jump it over. You got to have a leap. You got to have a leap of faith in yourself. You got to have a leap of faith in God. You got to have a leap of faith. And then you'll realize actually it is understandable. It is understand. Suddenly the not understanding became understanding. We were Farbrengen yesterday in the shul. I don't know if you were there. And the truth is, if you knew the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that's what he tried to do. He tried to push everybody to do more than they can do. And he proved them that they could do more than they can do. That's it. He proved to them, and he proved to everybody that was near him. He proved to them one thing, and that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he accomplished. That everybody don't think that you only can do A. You could do much more. You can do much more. And they did it, and it happened. Miracle. It was not a miracle. It just showed people that stop putting yourself into the corner. Stop cornering yourself. Stop limiting yourself. Stop. Go a little higher. You'll see that you can do it. I'm not asking something. I said a story yesterday. There was a guy named Rabbi Bernhard from South Africa. You were there by the story, So I said the story. So I read the story. I heard actually a story from him, Rabbi Bernhard. He was one of the big rabbis in South Africa, not a Lubavitcher. He ultimately became a Lubavitcher, but we're talking about in the early years in the 60s. He came to the Rebbe, late 60s. Came to the Rebbe. He was a chaplain in the army, in the prisons, and he came to the Rebbe at a meeting, and they were sitting at like a private meeting. And then the Rebbe, I said, "Oh, I heard you're a chaplain in Pretoria in the prisons." He said, "Yeah." It was like a week before Hanukkah. He said, "Are the prisoners, the Jewish prisoners, lighting the menorah this year Hanukkah in Pretoria?" So he said, "I don't know. No, they're not. They're not." So I said, "Why not? Why don't you're a chaplain? Why don't you care that they should light this? It's against the rules." Says the Rebbe said, okay, so that's why you're the chaplain. You can try to change the rules, that the Jewish people should be able to light this. He says, okay, you know what? I'll get back. So he says, I'll get back. It's a week before Hanukkah. When are you getting back? So I'm getting back right before Hanukkah. So we'll do it next year. The Rebbe said, what about this year? He said, well, I'm in America. I'm here in Brooklyn. I'm sitting with you. South Africa is far away. The Rebbe said there's phones. So he said, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Never said. They never said.
He was involved in-
They never said there's a phone in the. They never said there's a phone in the office. Why didn't you call? Why'd you go right outside? You can make a phone call. I'll pay for it. So he said, "Well, the guy, it's like it's like early 3-4 o'clock in the morning, in South Africa. I can't call up a guy, the head of the prisons of South Africa." He said, "Why not?" He said, "That's the opposite. Can you imagine that you call a guy up at 3 o'clock in the morning? He'll surely understand that this is a serious matter." So what are you gonna tell the Rebbe? He's gonna tell him no. So he went out and he called up the secretary of this guy and he said, "Listen, I'm calling the guy up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Wake the guy up because he's getting a phone call from me." Called this guy up. He said, "Listen, it's crazy. I just got out of a meeting with the rabbi, Babich, didn't know this guy was non-Jew." He says, "Yeah, wow, Babich Rebbe, okay, chief rabbi of the world is called, yeah." He says, "Why don't you let the prisoners light Hanukkah menorah?" I said, "Okay, okay, okay, it's done, it's done, it's done. Okay, I'll allow it." Okay, so the Rebbe, 4 o'clock in the morning, he's standing outside. The Rebbe leaves Yechidus, whatever. And he says, "No, did you accomplish it? Yeah, accomplished." So the Rebbe says, "You know what? I want to see you tomorrow again." So he came again to the Rebbe's office. And the Rebbe said, "Wow, you accomplished this in South Africa. Actually, in America, every state allows the lighting of the menorah in the prisons, besides New York State. New York State does not allow lighting. I think you should call up the head of the prisons of New York State, and you should tell him that in South Africa they're allowing the lighting of menorah." He said, I don't know the heads. I'm in South Africa. I don't know the heads." He says, "Don't worry, call Rabbi. Go to the office. They'll give you the guy's number, and you'll call him up. Do me a favor, call him up." And that's what he did. He went, called up. He said, I'm Rabbi in Pretoria. This guy just got the Jews in the prisoners in Pretoria to light the menorah. Would you think about letting the Jews in New York prisoners light the menorah?" I said, "Yeah." Walks out of the office. Story's not over. Walks out of the office. He went again. He waits for the Rebbe. The Rebbe, "No, did you accomplish it?" "Yeah." So the Rebbe said, "I want to give you something. I want to give you a gift." He says, "No, I did it from the goodness of my heart." He said, "No, Rebbe said, I don't want to own anybody anything. So I want to give you a gift." So he said, "Okay." So my son doesn't have a Tanya. I want a Tanya for my son. Gift that everyone gave out Tanyas. So Rebbe said, "Fine, come to the office this and this time. You'll have that gift." He came to the office. There were 3 gifts. The Tanya, and there was 2 other books. One for the Rebbe wrote. He wants that you should go to the guy when he comes back to South Africa. You should give the head of the prisons. This guy, you should give him a gift for him, a book, and he should give his wife a gift. Give 2 books, one for him, one for his wife. The guy came home. He called up the guy. He said, "I want to thank you." They came up with Hanukkah already. Called up. He said, "I want to thank you for doing. I asked you to do something. You did it, and I have a gift. The rabbi in New York has a gift. I brought a gift for you. And when can I come over?" He says, "You're going to come over to me?" He says, "A rabbi in New York wants to give me a gift. I'm coming over to you." 20 minutes later, he was there. The Rebbe showed people, you know what? You can do more. You can do much more. You don't limit yourself. Don't be afraid to when it comes to doing a good deed. When it comes to do a mitzvah, do it tomorrow. It's impossible. It's not capable. I showed you. It's 100% capable. So all you gotta do is go do it. You're Kaddish. You're unlimited. You have unlimitations. Why you limit yourself and start to rationalize? It's not possible. Not for this year. Maybe next year. What do you mean? Why not this year? Why not right now? Why not? Why not? Everybody's going to their comprehension and understanding of where they stand and who they are and what do you mean? You don't know you don't really know who you are. You have a godly soul, you have a nefesh of the kiss, you're unlimited. You ain't safe. Why put yourself down? Why limit yourself? Why talk yourself in that you cannot do it? You could do it. You 100% could do it.
About some of the runners who couldn't break the mile, right?
Oh, yeah.
Feeling?
Right.
Do you remember?
Yeah, 3.2.
But a person who's in real crisis,
Other
Rabbi,
people are doing it.
like a woman
We
by
said
us,
it's
her grandson was killed in Gaza. You can't speak.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not arguing. There's always exception to the rule. Everything has exception. But even those people, even those situations, a person can always the Eibishter gave a person chachma. He has the capability to over. We had this in this class also. You had a woman that wrote to the Rebbe, of 20-year-old, wrote to the Rebbe, and she lost her father, and she lost her mother, and she came to the Rebbe crying. And the Rebbe said again, a Yid believes in the Eibishter. There's certain answers you cannot have. There's certain questions that you cannot ask why. That's it. You cannot ask the concept of life and the opposite of life. You cannot ask those kind of questions. It's not a question. If you believe in God, there's certain questions that have no understanding. And the more you're going to try to understand it, is not going to help you out. It's just going to put you in a negative sense, a negative situation. We need to have a Munas Hashem. The Eibishter knows what he's doing, and it's hard, and it's not easy. But at the same moment, you also have to realize, if you believe in the Eibishter, that's self-understood, that everything is b'dei Shemayim. The Eibishter wants you to be happy, and God wants you to be b'simcha. At the same time, you can't take away from the aspect of simcha. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not an easy world.
Thinking about, her name is Mrs. Lowenstein, one who lost her husband. Her husband was a Chayal that fell, and her incredibly positive attitude.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I can't
Yeah.
grasp how she could do that.
I can't grasp these people. I'm neither me. And that's why that's why every morning I say, I pray to God, don't give me the challenge. And I don't want to have a challenge in life. I want that everything should come b'simcha. I'm not interested in challenge. And therefore people that overcome their challenges, they're a great inspiration to everybody. They are inspiration to each and every one of us. And we should be inspired by them to realize that if they can come over their challenges, I surely can come over my challenges in life.
There's a young woman who lost her husband in Gaza.
Yeah, it's all these stories. Today you go today, these past months, there's so many stories. It's unlimited. And let me tell you something, there you see people that overcome that challenge higher than understanding. It's not understandable. It's not understandable. And it's because they are maminim, they're true believers, and they're true committed, and they're true focused. You can see their focus, you can see their commitment, and it's l'mayla menaseh. And it's beautiful. And we should be inspired by it. We should be inspired by it. We should pray to the Eibishter that this should not be our inspiration. We shouldn't have such kind of inspirations, even though they are. But that's not the inspiration we're looking for. We shouldn't be inspired by such kind of things. We should be inspired by ourselves. We should prove ourselves that we have that capability. We should, on Yom Kippur by night, before the Shema, when we say the Shema Yisrael, before we blow the shofar, it says over there that the Alshich says that when you also Dizal said that you should have in mind you're going to Mesiras Nefesh. That should be your Mesiras Nefesh for the year. That should be your self-sacrifice for the year. That you should have that in mind. If you have in mind, just have in mind that you're ready to go on Sunday. That should be your self-sacrifice for the year. Maybe she shouldn't give you self-sacrifices in life. God shouldn't put you to the test. He shouldn't give you the tzaddises. He shouldn't give you the challenges. Have the feeling of self-sacrifice, because we do have self-sacrifice in many ways. In many ways, we shouldn't have to come to. But the truth is, again, the Alter Rebbe over here, in essence, says that we all could have, because that's Mesiras Nefesh. Mesiras Nefesh is Chochmah. Mesiras Nefesh is, the truth is, Mesiras Nefesh is the giving over the soul. What do you mean? Usually we come Mesiras Nefesh, somebody's killed, God forbid, right? So it's Mesiras Nefesh, gave over his life. But really the translation is Mesiras Nefesh, the handing over the soul. What does it mean, the handing over the soul? How do we hand over our soul? The giving over the soul. That's what Mesiras Nefesh is. Mesiras Nefesh is giving over our soul to our Chachma. That's when we have Mesiras Nefesh. We're handing over the soul. That all the comprehension, all the emotions, and all, we're handing it over to something higher. To a Chachma. We're surrendering it. The surrender of the soul. The surrender of our own soul. Understand? So even though we should have understanding, we should have das, chachma, bina, but hand over your soul. Hand over your soul to a higher dimension. Hand over your soul. Mesiras nefesh. That's mesiras haratzon. That's handing over your will. That means the Eibush says, I want your wisdom, I want your understanding, but I want your bittul. I want your humility. I want at the same time your humility. Right? So when you have a relationship with somebody, we can see that in the obvious soul, right? And there's a struggle, and maybe that's when it shows, are you really in love with that person, right? Right? Because even though, we disagree, but we still love each other. Right? We disagree. We vehemently disagree. You hurt me even, but I can't disconnect myself. I love you. Right? So in a real relationship, if you have a husband and wife, they always love each other. They always push to make each other happy a whole day, 24/7. It doesn't work. It's not real life. Real life is that there's going to be a struggle. The mother says, less about ksuba, like larama tigra. There's no true marriage that doesn't have a complication. It's two people. It's two different people coming together. And now, sure, there's going to be complication. That shows that the marriage, if there's no complication, it means that you're both living two different lives. So two people come to live together. There's going to be complication, but their commitment is stronger than all the complications. Their commitment to each other. That's it. And that's why they can have complications and they can work on it and their life goes on. Why? Because our commitment is greater. Our unity is greater than all the complications. Mayim, that's why it's an expression. The pasuk says, Mayim rabim layachal lichpeis esava. When do you know you have true love? When great waters cannot put out this fire. Mayim rabim, Yelich Sidis means, that's a statement of David HaMelech. Mayim, that's a pasuk in Tehillim. Mayim rabim, great waters, layachal lichpeis esava. Great waters. And David HaMelech was a person who can talk about great waters. Great struggles cannot break this love. That's it. Great struggles. We're going through great struggles. It cannot break this ava. Why? Because our connection is much deeper than we understand each other. Our connection is in our essence. Our connection is what it is. So therefore, we can go through terrible situations. It's not going to break this ava. It's not going to break this love. That's when the relationship is mature. That's when the relationship becomes mature. When the relationship between each other, when the relationship with God becomes a mature relationship.
Yeah, God wanted to destroy the world, and he had to be convinced not to, right? I mean,
100%.
he wanted to break that
100%.
relationship.
100%. The Eibush challenge, just like we challenge God, the Eibush challenges the world too. It goes back. It goes backwards and forwards. The Eibush challenges the world, and we challenge God. And therefore there's a true love because we challenge each other. We challenge each other. Eibush challenges Eden. He does. And we challenge him. And that's a true relationship. A true relationship is not based on La La Land. And that's why even the Torah says when Mashiach comes, we'll understand the greatness of Galus. We'll say, wow, what a shame that we took these challenges at the ends to the ends to its means, and not, yeah, it's beautiful. We should continue to kvetch, but it should never break. It should never break the ava. It should never break the love. It should never break the love. That's when what?
Then he said he'll never destroy the world.
Yeah, never destroy the world. No, destroy the world.
Yes, we're terrible.
Yeah,
It's
not going to destroy the world. That's good. Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
Just bring Mashiach.
So therefore, ultimately, I think we did this already. So the klippa, this stands in direct contrast, so-called klippa and sitracha, where it derived from the soul of the Gentiles who work themselves alone. We did this already. Demanding, give me, feed me, in order to become independent beings and entities, as mentioned above. In direct contrast to the category of chachma. That's the opposite. Chachma says, sure, give me. But it's still, I've not broken. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about God. You have to have that. That's when it comes real. That's when it comes real. Your relationship needs to come real with God. Our relation needs to become real with each other.
How does it become real? Say it again.
When we understand that the essence doesn't break, the chachma doesn't break. Our understanding might break. We become selfish. We become needy. We become give me. It's about me. It's selfish life. Where is God? Why did he do this to me? Why did he do this to me?
But they say the highest form of tzedakah is not necessarily giving the person a fish, it's teaching them how to fish. That's what this reminds me. It's like not feed me, teach me how to. feed
The
me.
high level of tzedakah is to think about the person, not about yourself. That's it. Think about the person, not about yourself.
Or the IRS.
Or not about the person. That's it. That's tzedakah. Tzedakah is when I think about the person, not about me. That's when the Rebbe writes, you can come infinite. You become infinite tzedakah when you don't think about yourself. You think about the person. That's when tzedakah becomes infinite, because that's when it proves you can do anything. Right? That's the same story. You can say, oh, how I'm going to help these guys? Oh, I can't do this. No, helping that you have a mission, you can do it, because you're not thinking about you. How you can do? Oh, it's uncomfortable. I'm not ready. But tzedakah is thinking about the other person. That's why it says that every mitzvah you do is a tzedakah. Every mitzvah you do is tzedakah to Eibush. Think about the Eibush, don't think about you. Stop thinking about you. Stop thinking about me. That's it. That's a tzedakah. You want to do a mitzvah with God, stop thinking about how much you can do this mitzvah, when can you do this mitzvah, why can I do this mitzvah, if I can do this mitzvah, am I real, am I a hypocrite, it's all about you. You're right. So if it's about you, you might be a hypocrite. If it's about God, then it's about God. God's not a hypocrite. Gotta stop thinking about me. Gotta stop thinking about God. Gotta stop thinking about me. Gotta stop thinking about you.
Like, if somebody's like a really, like I had a problem like this today, actually, this morning, I was on a meeting and there's a woman on there who's very rude. She's rude to me a lot. And I said, oh God, I gotta get off this meeting. I can't handle it. But that's my weakness.
I cannot handle. Again, we're back to me. Finished. And that's human nature. We're back to me. That's the problem. It's not about me.
But there is a me, and how much do you allow yourself to be abused?
No, don't get yourself abused. Don't get yourself abused. That's a problem. If it's not about you, you wouldn't get abused. It's chatter. There's chatter. It has nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with me. So why am I getting abused? How can you abuse me if you're not abusing me?
But it could still hurt.
So again, me. So you're back to me.
So
You're back to me. You're back to me.
In practical terms, rather.
So tzaddikim, the Gemara says, if you were tzaddik, you would hear your embarrassment, you wouldn't respond.
The Rebbe must have had difficult people in front of the thousands of.
Kidding me?
He must have had.
I'm sure you had a lot of it.
Showed them nothing but
But we're a tzaddik. He's a tzaddik. But I'm not a tzaddik. I'm not the Rebbe. But therefore, you're right. People do get on my nerves.
So in practical
Because I am. Because I'm not. When I learn Tanya, I'm talking to you. Is the Alter Rebbe is talking to me, just like he's talking to you. I'm not a tzaddik. We all have people get on nerves. We all get angry. We all get frustrated. And the truth is, if you, it shows how far you're away from wisdom. That's it. It just shows you how far you're away from your essence. You're just far away.
Stay in that situation.
No, you got to realize that first of all, that you're far away from your essence. That's number one. You're not so great. You push you far away from your chachma. The Eibusha shows it to you constantly how far away you are from chachma. You're so into yourself. You're still in your box. How great this box is, it's still a box, and you need to go above that.
So if this person's rude to me, what, in practical terms, what's the best solution?
Don't respond.
Be quiet.
Be quiet. What do you need to respond for?
But don't feel.
I don't, but I hung up the phone.
No. Don't hang up
I
the
didn't hang
phone.
it up on her. I just.
Whatever. Don't hang up the phone. Why leave? Why leave? Why leave? Unless you have no purpose there.
But that is
Like a
very
block,
damaging.
like a block.
So when you can't let yourself be damaged. I
No,
know
you could
some-
say, it's unacceptable. Please don't talk like that. You know, you can say that's a fine. That's a okay.
Right.
Because you're almost making it sound like there's no such thing as a boundary. I mean, we do have to create boundaries so that people who are abusive don't abuse us.
Yeah, we create.
Then
more
there's
boundaries
emotional
than-
thing. Is
create
that
more
not what you're
boundaries than-
saying?
No, everything has every rule has its exception, but we create more boundaries than we need. You know, the Gemara says it's better to give tzedakah by in the wrong way than never to give tzedakah at all. So why? 'Cause a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't give tzedakah. I got to first find out exactly, who is getting, and then ultimately never give tzedakah, because he's worried about somebody's ripping him off." That the two people. So the Gemara says, get ripped off twice. Get ripped off for the 20 guys you're going to give. Get ripped off. Stop protecting yourself so much that you don't do the right thing because you're in a mode of protection. Get ripped off. What's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. So somebody will take money from you and it'll be wrong. Somebody will do the wrong thing. Okay, so therefore I'm not going to do anything good. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to criticize. I'm going to judge everybody that everybody's trying to get me. And that's what people come. People come like everybody's trying to get them, like the center of the universe, and everybody is trying to hurt them. Everybody, the whole world is out to get them.
Rabbi once told us that we are.
Yeah.
A lot of people walking around the streets, and I said, well, he's definitely going to buy drugs with this money.
Mm.
He said, give it to him anyway, because if he doesn't get the money, he might hurt somebody to get the money.
Ah.
So you're actually doing tzedakah that you shouldn't beat up an old lady.
It's
Take
not
her
right.
to the hospital or something.
Wow.
I never thought of it that way.
The Alter Rebbe said, and it just learned in Tanya. The Alter Rebbe said, you have to have Avos Yisrael to every Jew. And the point of your Avos Yisrael is you're trying to make him a better person, right? So even a person that's a sinner, you have to show him Avos Yisrael. What happens if you show him Avos Yisrael and he doesn't become better? Right? You showed him Avos Yisrael, you showed him Avos Yisrael, he didn't become better. Doesn't take away from the mitzvah of Yisrael. that person didn't become better has nothing to do with your mitzvah of Avos Yisrael. What that person does has nothing to do with your mitzvah of tzedakah. You have to call a patient not nicely. Person which says, I'm not talking about giving him $1 million. Giving you the dollar is not going to take away your mitzvah if he's going to do whatever he does with it. Trust me. Unless you know, mamish, the guy is going, if a person reaches out his hand, you should give him stuff. 100%. Unconditional. That's it. That's it. You're doing it for the mitzvah. That's it. It's the Eibishter. Finish. The Eibishter says do the mitzvah. Do the mitzvah. Do a mitzvah. Stop getting involved in your understanding. Everything has to be. Stop becoming an accountant in every situation. Do it a mitzvah. Yeah. And that's why, you see, that's why I want to leave. I just, because we learned this last week already. I was got to go a little further. Therefore, they are called dead. That's it. That's why people walking around dead. Why? They're dead. They're dead from wisdom. That's why people are walking around miserable. They're dead. They're bullshit, not enjoying life. They're simply unenjoyed in their life. They're dead. They're dead. They die without wisdom. So are the wicked and transgressors of Israel. Before they face the test of the sanctity of God's name, they're dead. They walk around dead. Why? Because they're bullshit, not connecting to life. They're not connecting to life. They're not connecting to life. You want to connect to, if you want to have a life, that's what the Abish says. See, I've given you I've given you life, and I give you the opposite life. You want to, that's where you have your free choice. You want to live a miserable life? Gesundheit. Gesundheit. You want to live an unhappy life? Live an unhappy life. But I've given you to live a happy life. I've given you chachma. I've given you the capacity of chachma, the chachma, which is emunah, which is faith and betachan, and all these qualities of life, neshama. All these things are all your neshama, are all godly. I've given you chayim. I've given you the capability to live a good life. In this whole mishagas, I've given you the capability to live a good life, to choose life. That's what your choice is. That's what your choice is, right? Because you cannot condemn another person that he's not living a good life. You can't condemn him. You're not in his place. So you can't condemn somebody else's choices. The Alter Rebbe is talking to you. He's talking to me. The Abish is talking to you. He's not telling you, look at somebody else. You should judge everybody. You should actually pray for everybody else who are suffering in the world. You should try to help him. Not say, oh, you know what, the Abish to put you in that situation, go, suck it up. No, you did to help him. But yourself, when it comes to yourself, go higher. Reach out higher. Go to your wisdom. Go to something above yourself. And that's why the Gemara would say, first fix yourself.
Yeah.
Right? We're all in this situation. Some people more, some people less, whatever. We're all in this struggle of selfishness. That's why we have a nefesh abamis. That's our biggest struggle, is self. Me. Give me.
What does she do when someone's insulting her over the phone?
Say it's unacceptable. I hope you wouldn't do such a thing. So it's not acceptable. It's unacceptable. Everything has its place. And please don't do this. Surely in public, not
in a public setting. So it's like, she does that.
because she hasn't educated the person. She just hung up. She didn't give the person a chance. It's unacceptable. Very insulting, and it's not the right place. Not okay. It's not the right place. Why not? It's not and the person you gave the person a chance to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You gave the chance a person to say, you're right, I'm sorry. Hopefully she would have said, I'm sorry. Whatever. If she continues to abuse, then you hang the phone up. I understand that you hang the phone up. But I would first say, excuse me, not the right place. And it's hurtful words, please. We shouldn't do this to each other in a public forum. If the person would be a man, she would say, you're right, I'm sorry. And now you educated a person, you accomplished something, and the person did the right thing. But my backfire, I'm not saying that always happens that way. If it backfires and the person continues to abuse, you hang up the phone.
You don't even know what to say.
No, I understand. Listen, we all go through these situations, and a lot of times we respond wrong. Right? Because it's the moment, instead of sitting and thinking for a second, we get defensive. We go back to self. And we're protecting ourselves. And we need to protect ourselves.
That's why mindfulness is
Why
so
is-
important.
Yeah.
Governor Hamelech said when someone came and started to insult him in the top, and his guard said we should grab him, we should kill him.
Right.
So Shem brought him to me,
Correct?
and I understand.
You're right. Oh, that's beautiful. That's it. That's true. That is true. So that's true. The David HaMelech, that's a beautiful, the Rebbe spoke about that at length about that. David HaMelech said that, the Abish has sent me this guy to scream at me. It's not him who's screaming at me. It's the Abish who's screaming at me. And he's just the messenger. He has to figure out why the Abish had chosen him as a messenger. That is his avodah. But the message, still the message. So it's a difficult thing. That's what David HaMelech is David HaMelech. But it's a difficult thing. But the smart thing would be, that would be the smart thing. Oh, so if it's, then it's for sure you have nothing to worry about. Then it's for sure nothing. Okay. Okay, let me finish off. God bless us all, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good week. We'll see you, Mitch Shem, next week. We'll see you. We'll continue to learn.